All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the Akim. That's out there laboring, that's out the hope for elect, that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. And now we're seeing a new trend that's happening right now on social media is pretty much a power shift within the gender war. We're seeing masculinity pretty much being put back on the forefront, and we're seeing content creators, specifically females, that are pretty much parading the fact that men are to be the head of the household. Men are, gods, so to speak, holding men to a higher standard that the society has pretty much perpetuated, throughout the decades. The slow grinding transition of emasculating men, and exalting the woman, in the society, and having a woman be so proud that they put down men. You see, but we're seeing a shift in the earth, okay? And pretty much right now, we're seeing it right now as a trend on social media, where women are pretty much putting out content that are pretty much getting back to the order of things, of how things are to be for us as a nation. Okay, no other race of people or nation of people, okay, goes through the hard scrutiny of a gender war, okay, like you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay, but this is all of that partaking and drinking of that Babylon juice, because I always say, any group of people that been here the longest pretty much are the ones that are the most mentally challenged socially, okay, and I say that as a point to make, as the breaking down of the households was pretty much the standard, and was pretty much perpetuated throughout these decades amongst our people, okay, and pretty much the man behind the curtain that pretty much manipulated this whole situation and gave women pretty much over liberty, and to the fact that they didn't need a man. But we're seeing that power shift in the earth now. Like, you're having a lot of these women now that are pretty much standing up for righteousness, so to speak, okay, and they're catching a lot of heat on the comment board, but hey, we got to give a lot of these sisters out here some credit due. And this one in particular here, her name is Real Goddess Oshan, I believe. These women still go off on a lot of different things though, but she drives home the point of women being in order, women coming to the realization that they're going to have to share men, okay. When you look at her content page, she's pretty much into poly. That poly pretty much is a short for pretty much how a man lives under the same roof with multiple women, and they all pretty much partake as a family unit. To where the man, he's the head of the household, and he'll have maybe 2 or maybe 3 women, and they're all working together as a small community under one roof, and pretty much, she gets into this though, but she understands pretty much what the destruction of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American household has done to our people, and she's one of these people that are pretty much trying to get back to the way to where it should be, and a lot of what she's saying is scriptural, but society frowns upon this type of mindset though. You see? But let's hear a little bit of what she has to say. It's a short clip, you know, and then we're gonna get into the scriptures, and I hope this lesson is edifying. So without any further ado.
Y'all bitches are.
All right, before I even play this though, you know, there's a little vulgar, you know, language that goes on, you know, but pretty much, you know, hey, you know, we're all adults here, and you know, the main thing is to catch the point of where she's coming from. All right, so without any further ado.
One of y'all bitches around here hunching on the motherfucking rainbow man. I want me a masculine mandingo warrior. And if he already with you, I don't get no fuck. Slide the fuck over. Tag me in, bitch. Because for every 100 black women, 6.66 men that are heterosexual, that ain't incarcerated, ain't a part of the rainbow community, gotta worry about if you wearing your fucking fishnets. Y'all gonna stop playing with these black men like they ain't relevant right now. Black men very motherfucking relevant. And all on social media. Everybody, a nigga can put on a motherfucking wig and get more clout than a masculine, hard-working, activist black man. I'm sick of it. And then these hoes, they support it. The internet algorithm supports people who want to be hoes, mentally unstable, because they make a joke out of us saying we got mental health awareness. That shit ain't fucking cute on the internet. They let that shit ride through the motherfucking internet while people posting their kids and shit to make a mockery out of us. They let a nigga in a motherfucking lace front wig get that bag on the internet to make a mockery of us. 48% of our black men are gay. 36% of our black men are incarcerated. So everybody say on my pages, oh, we're not at that time yet to share the man. Since when? We've been sharing these niggas since the beginning of the genocide. We might as well hold hands and kumbaya around this bitch.
And pretty much that's the point. Okay, so she came with pretty much numbers and statistics, you know, which it doesn't matter at the end of the day, but we see it, you know, in our daily comings and goings, man, of how society pretty much moves, you know, as far as the shortage of men, you know, through whatever, you know, situations that they fall into. You know, you got men that are pretty much moles. You got men that are pretty much locked up, like she said. Okay, all right, and pretty much the women are left to whatever available men are there. You know, and pretty much the women do outnumber the men, but the Lord pretty much set it up that way anyway. You see, all right. So she understands that you know, a man is gonna have to be shared, though, man, and that's the whole spirit of pretty much getting into Isaiah 4:1, you know, and we're fast approaching that time. You see, all right, because society pretty much upholds folly within our community, man. Okay, you know, when you turn on the TV, even when you turn on the TV in the middle of the day, what do you have? You have the so-called Negro man, Latino man being emasculated. You know, you're seeing femininity pretty much reign throughout on TV. All right, because a lot of these women are at home watching TV, and they're pretty much relying on the government, man. Okay, that is their major audience, man. Okay, you see, all right, and even when you have women that may have a little something, a substance to bring to the table, so to speak, man. You know, those women pretty much are ones that are, you know, shut themselves out from the dating pool, man. Okay, you know, they pretty much don't want no parts of it. They become prideful as well. You see, okay. But you know, the Lord is pretty much you know, showing that shift, man. That you know, that you seeing the power shift going on in the earth, man. You know, as this man's kingdom pretty much is at its demise. Okay, all right. We're seeing women like her. Okay, hey, the Lord may have mercy on women like her, man. Okay, because she's pretty much going into her pages, man. You know, and she understands the concept of sharing men. She understands the concept of being women having to be, you know, sharing men. You know, she understands the whole process and the concept of it, man. And this is on this side, man. You know, this is on this side where these women pretty much have much liberty, but you have pretty much the spirit that's being put on a lot of women that are putting up content pages that are getting into this, and this is the main focus of topic, man. Okay, all right. Pretty much her channel is pretty much surrounded around what she just spoke of. You see, and she pretty much is catching a lot of heat from a lot of the women. Okay, you know, there was one comment where the woman said, you know, when this woman, which she's don't have no wisdom, the particular woman that commented on her page, and the woman said that that she pretty much creates men, creates life. Okay, and that's not scriptural. But she said that since I create life, therefore I will bow down to nothing that I created. Okay, so this is what she said. Okay, and these women are pretty much misinformed and delusional, man. Okay, they've been put on that high pedestal. Okay, that Eve pretty much set the tone for that. All right, and it's gotten to the point to where modern dating is pretty much toxic, man. Okay, these women are walking around with a toxic mindset, man. All right, and the Lord's pretty much going to deal with them, man. All right. So let's get a scripture real quick. Let's get Isaiah chapter 4 verse 1. This is pretty much the main topic of discussion. Okay, so I'm going to start off on the right side of the screen and read the NLT. All right, I have a split screen. All right, and it says, Isaiah 4:1, in that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take your name so we won't be mocked as old maids. And pretty much, they're pretty much gonna be saying this on this side, man. And these women are gonna need that protection, man. Okay? Because the one major thing that these women do not understand is that the major fear that they have when the society breaks down is from their own creation, so to speak. Okay? And I say that's because these women been ruling these households for decades, man. Okay? You see? And the scriptures talk about, man, of mischievous women shall bring forth monsters, man. And this is what these women have created. Okay? Now there's a certain sudden fear of these YNs that are running around here, that they from their own creation, man. Okay? So they're gonna have to partake in the fruit of their doings, man, in that time to come, man. Okay? These women are on these different various households that are being ran by them, have created a whole society of people that they are pretty much going to fear. Okay? They fear them now. Okay? This is the same society that these women with their own daughters, okay, would probably worry about their daughters being out at certain times of the night, man. Okay? That are still living under their household, man. Okay? And what's that fear coming from? Fear of any harm being done to them. But this is all of these women's creation, man. This is all from their being the head of the household, so to speak, man. Okay? So their worst fear, okay, is from what they pretty much normalized under their roof, man. Okay? These YNs, man, you can't tell them nothing, man. Okay? You see? And they're running around like wild beasts, man, in the streets. You see? And this is all of the rebuke of the Lord, man. Okay? Where the scriptures speak about, thy sons have fainted, man. They lie at the tops of the street corners, man. Okay? Full of the fury of the rebuke of the Lord, man. Okay? Like a wild bull in the net. You see? And that's pretty much these YNs that are running around here, man. Okay? All right? And anybody else that falls out of that category that pretty much still have that the mindset of one. Okay? Hell, you got men that are in their 50s, man, that still have that teenage mentality running around in Babylon, man. You see? Okay? All right? But these women are going to need that protection in that time, man. You see? All right? And this is the reason why they're going to have to cleave unto a man and not just any man. Okay? All right? The Lord's going to raise up his men, man. It's going to be evident, man, of who the men of the Lord are, man. Okay? All right? Right? The men of the Lord are going to shine in that time, man. In a time of gloominess, in a time of darkness and dimness. Okay? Where the doors of repentance will be closed and pretty much, all right? people will be groping, as like a noonday, man. Okay, all right, and a thirst for the truth is not going to be found, man. Okay, all right. We're speaking about the breaking down of society, man. Okay, that's going to happen, and people are going to be looking for answers that they can't pretty much gather, man. Okay, all right. You see? All right. From there, let's go to let's go to Isaiah real quick. But let's hold on. Let's go to 2 Corinthians. What was that? That escapes what it was. I believe it's the second chapter. Let's type it in real quick. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. And the strongholds are being pulled down, man. This word is pulling down these strongholds, man. The stronghold of the women ruling and continually putting down the man. You still see it, man. There's still content that's out there, man. That these women are still settled on their leads, man. Okay? You see? All right? But this word is being manifest, man, and the truth is springing out, man. And women, okay, and these women the women that are pretty much are so-called coming to their senses, so to speak, or realizing that they do need the man, the Lord may have mercy on them, man. You see? The Lord may have mercy on these particular women, man. Okay? She knows that she's supposed to be in a certain spirit. A certain spirit is coming over her, man. And this is why when you see her, man, she pretty much, when you see her, if you look past, the language and everything else, though, okay, you pretty much see that her head was covered, man. You see? Okay? You see? Right? But it says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalt itself against the knowledge of the Most High, man. And what's exalting themselves above the knowledge of the Most High, man? Everything that E has said is okay to do, man. Okay? Look at the state of the households, man, that these women have been running, man. The state of the men, they want to sit here and run around and talk about how men ain't shit, But these are the very same men that you have raised, man. So you're speaking on whatever formula Big Mama's wisdom is not working, man. Okay? Big Mama's wisdom pretty much has left this nation of people a disgrace, man. Okay? And it was all done through manipulation. Okay? A covenant with the devil, so to speak, man. Okay? Here it is. You would have a woman that would sacrifice her whole family and kick the man out the house just to receive government benefits, man. Okay? Where with that man being in the household, it would gain so much more stability and even generational wealth, man. Okay? Generational wealth pretty much went out the window once the men started being kicked out the household, man. Okay? Through these government programs, man. You see? Okay? But these are the things that was exalting itself against the knowledge of the Most High, man. Just the way that the Lord has set things up from the beginning, man. Okay? Of how a household should be ran. How a household, the setup of a household, man. Okay? You see? All right? But it says, man, right? Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Okay? You see? All right? And we're seeing that now. We're bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience. Okay? So certain spirits, man, and it says that, man, women are pretty much are having a mindset, man, of they're gonna have to get themselves in order, man. Okay? All right? And what you want to consider women's intuition. Okay? Now, women's intuition doesn't have anything to do with any type of wisdom, because the Lord didn't impart the women with wisdom. This is why they need guidance. This is why they are the weaker vessel, man. Okay? but they still have what you want to call that intuition, man, of knowing that something is about to go down, something ain't right. Okay, we have pretty much gone too far past go, so to speak. You know, okay. They know there's a lot of women that are out there, man, that know they went that them as a whole, them women as a whole, went too far past the mark, so to speak. They went too far past what should be required at the end of the day, man. Okay, this is why, you know, here it is that these women is so-called put on a pedestal, and they still walking around evil, mad, and angry because they're not happy, man. Okay, because the results are not pretty much having them to be complete, man. Okay, you know, these women are pretty much dying alone, so to speak, man. Okay, so that's why the scriptures say that the women want to have their reproach taken away. You know, that we won't be mocked when you're looking at NLT. We won't be mocked as old maids, so to speak. Okay, but really, you know, they're gonna need that covering in that time, man. You see, they're gonna need that covering in that time, man. Okay, all right. From there, let's go to let's go to Isaiah 32. Verse 1. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. You know, and that's pretty much speaking about, hey, you know, Yahweh Shai, okay, all right, and all of the men, okay, starting with King David, and all of us under them, man, okay, you know, i.e. the elect, okay, and it says, a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of waters in a dry place, and as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. You know, and that man is going to be that protection, man. Okay, all right. Verse 1 is pretty much getting into, you know, that the changing of the guard, so to speak. Okay, you know, but this whole thing right here, okay, all right, when you really get into verse 2, okay, it's really going to happen really on this side, man. Okay, when this breaking down society comes, okay, all right, that special man of the Lord, that the remnant, okay, all right, shall be as a hiding place from the wind, man, and a covert from the tempest, man. Okay, all right, from whatever elements that are out here, whatever situational circumstances that may arise with the breaking down society, man. That man is gonna be that shadow of a great rock in a weary place, man. You see? Okay, all right, and we're coming into that time, man. Okay, that time is pretty much fast approaching, man. You see? All right. From there, let's go to let's get Micah. Chapter 7, I'm going to start at verse 8. Rejoice not against me, O my enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, Yahweh shall be a light unto me. And this is pretty much us of the elect speaking, right? All right. Hey, through the spirit of Micah, you know, hey, we feel the same way, man. You know, okay, we've been in the lowest case scenario as it is, man. Okay, all right, we've been in the lowest case scenario as it is. You see, all right, but it says, right, I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against him. So we understand the situation that we're in right now as we speak. The reason why we're in the situation that we're in, all right, the reason why we got to fight these thorns and briars, okay, the reason why we got to fight these demons, okay, is because we bearing the indignation of the Lord, man. The Lord put us in this situation, man, okay, and pretty much, man, we're turning to righteousness, man, and during this grace period time, man, and hoping the Lord has mercy upon us, man, okay, you see, and it says, I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. And this is the part that we're waiting on, man. Okay? We're waiting for the Lord to plead our cause, man, and to execute judgment in the earth, man. And execute judgment in any situation or circumstance that we personally may be in, man. Okay? Dealing with the elements of the world. You see? Okay? Right? He will bring me forth to light, and I shall behold his righteousness. And that's what's going to happen, man. Okay? All right? Lord willing, that we those men that they're going to see the Lord face to face, man. And be looked at with no guile, man. Okay? You see? And it says, then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her. Right? Okay? And shame's going to cover these women, man. Okay? Because they're going to understand that, hey, man, the Lord is pretty much setting up his men. The men that they have disrespected and continue to disrespect are men of the Lord, man. These are the Lord's precious men. Okay? All right? We're that bridegroom. Okay? You see? And pretty much, man, these women, you're the Lord, you're the enemy of the Lord, man. Okay? Because women are rebelling more and more, man. Okay? And it says, right? Shame shall cover her, which say unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Okay? And they say that, they can say it verbally, and they just do things pretty much freely. Okay? Because there's no judgment has came forth, man. Okay? So they're fully set on demon time mode to do wickedness, man. Okay? You see? You know, these people, hey, man, you know, that whole thought about the, you know, oh, I don't want to talk about Revelation, or I don't want to know about this, or the end of the world ain't gonna come. Hey, listen, man, all right? You don't kick the can down the road so far, man. You don't kick it into the dead end street, man. Okay, the can is in the dead end street right now, man, and there's no way to get around this right now. Okay, this will happen in your lifetime, man. Okay, for generations, man, they've been trying to kick the can down the road, man, and not wanting to face judgment, man, but be fully set on wickedness, man. You see? Okay, where's the Lord that power, right? My eyes shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And that's what's going to happen, man. Okay? You know? All right? These women are going to be trodden down like as the ground, man. All right? So pretty much, man, hey, you know, whoever the Lord has mercy upon with these women is who's going to have mercy upon, man. Okay? You know, and he's going to have those women attached to a man of the Lord. All right? You know? So, hey, right now, man, hey, we're seeing the spirit changing, man. Okay? And we're seeing it through the trending of what's going on social media. We're seeing women that are pretty much at the end of the day, go on the bat for men, okay, and have putting content on their pages surrounded around being in order and understanding that they're gonna have to, hey, share man, okay, you see. But pretty much, man, I'm gonna end it there. I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash, Shalom.